living things. I get it now. And the arrangement or the array of what after talking about the definition of biology, we're looking at the branches of biology, then the importance of biology, then next we go to the scientific method, which was introduced by Francis Bacon. Then we'll go to the origin of organic molecules, and further it into origin of cells, which was from Cotonoid. Then that's in this origin of cells, we're looking at the first cells. The first cell. I get it now, then we'll now look at the characteristics of life. I get it now. Okay, let's come back here now. When we talk about living things, what are we talking about per se? Anything you call a living thing is something that can carry out all the characteristics of life, which is Mr. Niger Lack or that, any of the sequence or synonym you like to follow, that's the abbreviations you might like to follow. You get it? So the first thing that we said was definition of biology. And we know that biology was obtained from two Greek words, which is your bios and your logos. So we can say that to define biology, we can say that biology is the study of life. And when we say the study of life, it means that it studies both plants and animals. It generally studies organisms that can carry out life processes. So when it says study of life, that is, studies all forms of living things, which will include your plants and animals. When we get further into taxonomy, we'll be looking at other forms of living things, which have been classified into 5 kingdom system by Robert Whittaker. We'll look at that in our biology 003. You get that now? So, we've been able to define biology. Biology has several branches. I'll be looking at those branches briefly. So, I'm going to be looking at the branches of biology. Branches of biology. So, in our branches of biology, we'll be talking about, starting from the major ones, where we have your zoology. I will know that zoology is the study of animals. Then we have your botany, which is the study of plants. Those are the major ones which you are conversant with your O level. I get it now. But here in your A level, I'm going to be following them, and I'll be giving you close to like 18 branches. Anyone you see, you should be conversant with them. So number 1, you have your zoology. You have your zoology. I will say zoology is the study of animals. I get me now. Then we also have your botany. You have your botany, and botany on the other hand is the study of plants. I get me now. The study of plants. Then we have your anatomy. And anatomy is the study. When I say anatomy, we are talking about the study of the internal structures present in an organism. All the internal structures, all the internal forms and organs. Are you getting it now? They are studying their locations, their position, their color. Are you getting it now? They are going to say position, their anatomical position. Are you getting it now? And those things are referred to as anatomy. Study of the internal. Study of the internal structures of living things. Then we'll go further to look at morphology. And when we look deeply into morphology, anatomy studies internal structures, while morphology studies the external structures. I get it now. Is the study of the external structures. External structures of living things. Then we'll go further now to look at physiology. And physiology on this hand, remember, anatomy and morphology are studying structures, both internal and external. But physiology here is studying the functions of those structures. While the other one is anatomy and morphology are studying structures, I get with their positions of organs and stuff like that. Physiology is studying what function do these organs, do these structures perform. That's physiology. So it is the study of the functions of the structures in living things. Then we move further now. To look at the next branch, and that will be our hereditary. Hereditary on this hand is the study of the transfer of genetic traits. I get it now. The study of the transfer of genetic traits from one offspring or from a parent to offspring. That means you can say from one generation to another generation. When we get into genetics, we look at these generations as filial generations. I get it now. So for now, we say the transfer of traits. These traits are embedded in, and the study of those genes is called genetics. The transfer of from parents from parents to their children. You get now? Then we also study another branch of biology we have. Another branch of biology that we have, we'll be looking at virology. And virology is the study of virus. Is the study of virus. Quickly, we look at cytology. And cytology simply means the study of cells. It is the study of cells. Then we look further at paleontology. And when we talk about paleontology, these are decayed remains. I get it that have been acted upon as a result, acted upon by pressure. I get it now. And it's at the end of the day, through carbon dating, you can actually make reference to the period when these organisms have existed or how long those body remains have been. You get what I'm saying now? So you'll be able to know the era or the geographical time that this organism existed. I get it now. And that's paleontology. It is the study of fossils. Then we move forward to look at microbiology. It's another giant branch of biology. Microbiology is the study of microorganisms. It is the study of microorganisms and their activities. Father of microbiology is referred to Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, and that's because he created the microscope that was used in studying microorganisms. You get what I'm saying now? Then we look at number 11. Number 11, we'll be looking at phycology. Phycology is the study of algae. The study of algae. And why the study of fungi is referred to as mycology. Mycology. That's why in most drugs, like streptomycin, you'll be hearing that my there is telling you that that drug has something to do with fungi. I get it now. So mycology is simply the study of fungi. In our microbiology, we are expatiating on this fungi, but these fungi can be divided into two classes. We have into two major divisions where you have the Myxomycota and the Oomycota. And each of them, the Myxomycota have three classes, and your Oomycota has 5 classes. We'll be exploring those information in our microbiology lecture. Then we also have another major branch of biology, which is referred to as embryology. And embryology per se is the study of embryo. The study of embryo and embryological development. And embryological development. Again, how embryos develop in the uterus and the necessary materials required to aid optimal development of the embryo. Okay, then we also have another major branch. I get it now. We have another major branch, and that will be our pathology. Pathology is the study of microorganisms that cause disease. I guess that you are studying the diseases that are caused by pathogens. I guess that pathogens are microorganisms that cause disease. Study of diseases. Sorry, let me highlight this in black. Study of diseases. Study of diseases caused by microorganisms. Are we getting that now? Then we'll go further now. We have our ornithology. And ornithology is generally the study of apes, birds. Many know ornithology are studying birds. That is the study of birds. That is, apes in general. Then we also have our ichthyology. Ichthyology is the study of fish. It is the study of fish. That is, those organisms that belong to the class Pisces. Yes. Yeah. Then we have hepatology. Now, hepatology studies reptiles, and we also have histology that studies tissue. Pathology snakes. While lastly, Last one, and histology studies tissue. In later lectures. And all those classes under them, like your squamous and cuboidal, you'll be looking deeply into these tissues. Okay, let's now look at some of the importance of biology. Some of the importance of biology. Importance of biology now. Importance of biology. And when you say the importance of biology, that means you are saying what good that the knowledge of biology or the application of biological information be able to bring, I get now into the community, the society, the universe, the cosmological setup. I get it now. Now, the first importance of biology that we can talk about is the knowledge of biology enables us to understand management of natural resources. I get it now. Because we have a lot of natural resources, and these natural resources have to be managed. I get it now. So it enables us to learn conservation, recycling, preservation. I get it now. Even through endobotanical processes, extraction and isolation of chemicals that can serve as drugs. I get it now from plants or animals. For example, now there are some drugs that are referred to, for example, your morphine and your codeine. These are drugs that are obtained from plants, such as somniferum plant, Papaver somniferum. And this Papaver somniferum is a plant, and you obtain drugs like morphine and codeine. Automatically, that ability to recognize those helpful chemicals from that plant was as a result of the contribution of biological idea into medical processes. At the same time, we can obtain certain drugs from microorganisms. I get me now, like your penicillin obtained from Penicillium notatum. I get me now. That process is as a result of biological idea. Biology also enables you to understand health management and keep hygiene, encourage good hygiene, and improve health, generally public health. I get me now. So all those are the result of biological knowledge. Let's see how we can put them into context. You can say number one, it enables individuals understand their environment. Because regularly and constantly, organisms will continue to interact with their environment, and that's ecological. We set up the ecosystem. I get it now. The ecological setup of this universe has been able to make us understand that living things will constantly interact with one another and with their environment. And when you hear the word environment, we are talking about effect on what? On living things. That's what we mean by the environment. Are we getting that now? Okay, so we can go to number 2 now, importance. You can say also that it teaches the maintenance and preservation of resources. It also enables us to be rational in the utilization of our resources. It provides rational techniques in preserving, or let's use the word utilizing our resources. Good. It also teaches health procedures and maintenance. The knowledge of biology, knowledge is also applied in pharmaceuticals, in pharmaceutical industries, in drug production, through the isolation of certain chemical components, important chemical constituents are getting now for the production of drug. Let me put the example here, e.g., production of morphine, which is an analgesic, and codeine, these are drugs, from plants such as Papaver somniferum. I get that now. So these are major importance of biology. It's also used, applied in the agricultural industry, in production of fertilizers. At the end of the day, when you produce more fertilizers, like your NKP, you improve soil fertility. I get me now. All right. And when soil fertility has been improved, automatically productivity will be improved also. Now let's now move on now to the scientific method. But before I go to scientific method, let's talk about living things and their characteristics. So what do we say living things are? Living things refers to all entities that can like and this info brings us straight into the characteristics of life. And what are the characteristics of life? Characteristics of life. And when we say the characteristics of life, that means what are those things and what are those features that you must Niger lack.